or did you not shoot a porn video with men in a hotel room?
I did not.
Did you not shoot a porn video with men in a hotel room last night?
That was Marissa. God literally told me, and Marissa told me that was not me. I already left.
So Marissa was the one who shot the porn video?
Yes, that wasn't me. That was Marissa and Kat. I left way before that.
I don't know about you, but when I see a woman crying, I feel really sorry for her. Some ancient masculine instinct kicks in when I see a woman in pain, and I feel like I need to do something to relieve her suffering, to help her, to, I don't know, protect her. Isn't that what a man does? You know, I'm like, yes, all right, it's time for me to step up, to be a man. We've got to protect women. But you know what's so sad though, is that after everything I've seen in my life, I no longer trust that instinct. Like, before I act on my compassion for a crying woman, I now force myself to repress my compassion and engage my rationality, because for every woman out there who's a genuine victim and who actually deserves compassion and, you know, protection from me, there are just as many women who are perpetrators, bullies, abusers, toxic people who do awful things and refuse to take responsibility for their actions. And guess what? Those women cry too. Often, they cry more than actual victims, because genuine victims are usually scared to show their sadness, and so they force themselves to be stoic, whereas toxic women who are crying in a manipulative way, they're happy to put on a whole show for you. So after everything that I have seen, I have realized that it's actually, it's not safe for me to trust my own masculine instincts for protecting women, feeling compassion for them, which sucks. You know, I hate that. I would love to just let my empathy flow uninhibited. But unfortunately, not every woman who is crying actually deserves compassion. Often, her tears are manipulative or just plain selfish. Okay, let's go into this a little bit deeper. Like the audio that we just listened to at the beginning of this video, the man sees his girlfriend acting in an adult film, you know, sleeping with other guys, and he confronts her. She starts crying. But why? Yeah? Why specifically is she crying? Is she crying because she has realized that what she has done is wrong and she feels guilty? Is she crying because she is overwhelmed with empathy for her boyfriend? She's considering how it must feel to be him in that moment, you know, to love somebody, but then to find out that they have been cheating on you and acting in adult movies behind your back. Are you kidding me? She's not sad because she's thinking about how he must be feeling. She's upset because she got caught. She's annoyed that she wasn't able to cheat and get away with it. She's feeling sorry for herself. That's why she's crying, because she's feeling it's so unfair that she has to be held accountable for her actions. Lots of men don't understand this. When their girlfriend does something wrong, when she does something to hurt him and she starts crying, those tears are not because she feels bad about what she did to you. They feel sorry for themselves. Women have an empathy block when it comes to men. It actually takes practice for women to develop empathy towards men. It's not their default, which is weird, and it's difficult for some guys to understand this when they first hear it, because they've seen women be endlessly patient with everybody else, friends, children, themselves. You know, they have massive reserves of empathy. But I'm telling you, women who can really feel what men feel, who can actually empathize with male emotions, who actually take the time to imagine what a man's experience is like, those women are extremely rare. Really, really, really rare, which is probably why I gush so much about the community that we have on Patreon, because in addition to the awesome guys that I have over there who support me, we have great discussions underneath all of my exclusive content. There's also a sizable number of women who participate in the discussions, who write to me and tell me how grateful they are for my content, because it's helping them as women grow in empathy for men, helping them understand male emotions, male values, what life is like as a man. And I just so admire that, because I understand that from women, that is rare. Most women never think about the emotional impact of their actions on men. They have to be trained to feel compassion for men. Biologically, from an evolutionary point of view, women have always expected men to take care of them, not the other way around. Okay, so it takes a lot of patience for a man to actually teach his girlfriend how to empathize with him, to consider things from his perspective. Which is why, as a man, you need to be really suspicious when your girlfriend starts to cry. It's possible that she feels bad about what she did and she's feeling guilty about hurting you, and that's why she's crying. That would be great. But you can't assume automatically that that is the case. It could be that she's just feeling sorry for herself. She thought that she would get away with it, or she feels like she's special and she's entitled to act however she wants, that she should never have to take responsibility for her choices or be accountable to anybody, for how her behavior impacts on others. She's crying because in her mind, she's the victim. You're just being a big meanie. She's crying because it's unfair from her perspective that she got caught. I mean, in that situation, at least the tears are real. Bizarrely, she's feeling sorry for herself, not you, but at least the pain is real. She's not faking it, which is not always the case. Because I'll tell you this, lots of women can cry fake tears. Okay? And if that shocks you, then I'm sorry, but you haven't been paying attention. Most girls are very young when they realize that crying can help them get their way. That adult men, their fathers in particular, often stop being harsh with them, stop holding them accountable, and they start being soft and comforting once she starts crying. Now, of course, when she loses like a treasured item, a favorite toy, or she falls over and hurts herself, then the tears are real, and the comfort that she receives from her father is well deserved, of course. But you are delusional if you think that little girls aren't going to conduct, some experiments around this whole crying thing. She just broke something, or she was caught lying, or she was caught being mean to her little brother, whatever it is. And so she starts crying, possibly sincerely to begin with, out of guilt or feeling sorry for herself, whatever it is. But the point is that she notices that when she starts to cry, it softens the way that the adults treat her. Why would she stop crying when it made her dad be nice to her? Maybe next time she's caught, she'll cry a little sooner or a little bit harder. And so it begins. I mean, geez, like I said at the beginning of the video, I find it really hard when a woman is crying to ignore that. My masculine compassion just explodes, but you can't trust that. You can't just instantly feel sorry for a woman because she's crying. She might be manipulating you. Now, here's a good test to find out if she is genuinely sad or if she's just using tears to avoid responsibility. Okay, so let's say you caught your girlfriend lying to you and you confront her and she starts crying. Now, perhaps in the past, her tears made you stop asking questions. It softened you. It made you reach out and comfort her. Okay, well, let's change things up, right? Let's change that pattern. Instead of responding to her tears, just keep the conversation going as though she's not crying. If she is genuinely sad, she'll stop crying. But if she was just using tears to avoid responsibility, once she sees that it's not working, you'll find that her sadness magically evaporates as though it was never there, and it quickly turns to anger. All right, she lied to you, but suddenly the sad crying girl has turned vicious and she's blaming you. She's accusing you of lying. She's insulting you and she's criticizing you for bringing it up now, for being insensitive to her moods, to her emotions. Okay, that's proof that you were being manipulated. When her sadness didn't achieve the desired result, she moved on. She was thinking, all right, well, maybe anger will do the trick. See, it's just a tool to get what she wants. Because here's the thing about genuine sadness. It's authentic, it is sincere, and it is self-generated. It is this automatic process of dispelling intrinsic emotion. You have no real control over it. It's spontaneous. No matter how the other person is acting, you feel sad because of you. But if the sadness and the crying isn't real, if it is exaggerated or put on in order to manipulate you, then once she sees that it's not working, it's abandoned. It vanishes into thin air as though it was never there in the first place. Which, of course, it wasn't. I mean, all this, it really makes me feel sorry for genuine high-quality women who feel a pressure to repress their emotions, to repress their tears, because they're scared that men will judge them as being manipulative, like all these other toxic women. I mean, I hate that. Innocent women suffering because of the awful, selfish behavior of other women, that sucks. That collective guilt is just awful. You cannot have compassion as your default position, that a woman deserves your comfort automatically simply because she is crying. That kind of trust has to be earned, like in a long-term relationship where you know your partner intimately. I'm not saying that it is appropriate to yell at a crying woman or to get upset at her. That's hardly a model of healthy masculinity, but you don't need to be spineless either. Even if she is crying, you can continue to ask her questions. Specifically, why is she crying? What specifically is making her upset? Directly invite her to empathize with you, okay? Ask her to guess what it is that you are feeling right now. Ask her if she would be willing to try and feel the same emotions that you are feeling in that moment. Now, if she does that and she genuinely connects with your pain and suffering and she's crying out of empathy, wonderful. That is a wonderful result. Beautiful tears, beautiful. We encourage that, okay? That's a good thing. But if her default response to any kind of accountability or questions is to cry, then you need to be extremely cautious. She's probably just feeling sorry for herself, or she's trying to manipulate you into not making her responsible for her actions. Please, men, do not fall for it. In what way are you unique? Like if you were trying to sell yourself as an ideal partner for monogamy, what could you point to about yourself that is unrepeatable, that no other man could possibly offer a woman? And is that going to protect you against a woman's hypergamous instincts? This is the topic of my latest Patreon video, and for those of you who are really serious about getting a girlfriend, making a long-term relationship work, I highly recommend you check out this video. My Patreon is just a $5 a month subscription, highly affordable. The value is insanely good. You just pay that $5 and you get instant access to that video plus every other video in my back catalog, at least 170 videos at this point. I post twice a week, so please come and sign up at my Patreon. $5 a month, great way to support the creator. We have a great community, great discussions. I'd love to see you over there so you can be a part of it.